That's attractive. All right. Well, yeah, got that on the recording too. All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Happy and LawLiet. This game taking place here on Turtle Rock. We have Happy spawning as the blue undead at what I'll call the 9 or 10 o'clock position. Meanwhile, LawLiet all the way on the other side of the map spawning as the yellow night elf. Night elf versus undead 1v1 on Turtle Rock, a map that, well, needs no introduction. Feels like it's been part of the map pool for so long. Heading straight over to that 2-minute mark, we are going to be looking at an Ancient of War. Going to be popping out that archer and going after this 3322 creep camp, which does not give level. I don't believe it gives level 2 right off the bat. You need to clear out this green creep camp as well. Meanwhile, it is going to be a Warden going up against a Death Knight from Happy. No big surprises here, as the Death Knight does sell his Scroll of Town Portal, picks up a Sacrificial Skull, and has a Rod of Necromancy as well. We'll keep an eye on, or I'll keep an eye on that for you. Talking about we, like I have some sort of production crew keeping track of everything. And of course, well, people don't touch my screen and my monitors, and well, adjust everything slightly to make it a little bit more difficult because it doesn't quite feel just right any longer. Anyways, coming back through Ancient of War, actually going after the Goblin Merchant Shop instead of that 3322 creep camp. Gonna pick up that Watcher Ward and keep track of this walkway. Incredibly important, as the Warden gonna get very close to level 2 here. Now getting to level 2, not quite sure where he got the level 2 there. Perhaps a detonation off on some other unit, and now finishing off the remainder of this creep camp here. One archer, one Ancient of War tanking a large amount of damage, and this is actually a bit risky by LawLiet. I'm not quite sure if he knew that it was going to be a full cross spawn as opposed to just opposite side of the merchant shop spawn, and with that, this Ancient of War has been, well, being repaired by 2 wisp constantly and only having one single archer to try and clear out. All right, it looks as though Happy must have realized that. Wait a second, I don't see I don't see any wardens, warden or demon hunter or any hero harassment coming through anywhere else. That must mean my opponent is clearing out some big creep camps, and I must do the same, rather than perhaps trying to walk out across the map to figure out what he is doing. All right, some decision making here coming across the map as the Ancient of War, well, gonna look like it's gonna repair itself by eating up a little bit of trees. Hey yo, how you doing? Thank you for tuning in. However you may be watching and listening, well, there's one person on the stream, so I guess everyone else watching is watching on YouTube. If you've gotten to this part of the video already and have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I don't know why, but it helps my YouTube metrics and suggests my videos more, and well, all of that jazz. So thumbs up, like, all of that social media thing. If I feel like, you know, that movie Wreck-It Ralph, where people are like asking for likes. Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like. I don't really feel good at doing it, but I do know that it does help, as we see a Shadow Strike going down onto a low hit point ghoul. But that low hit point ghoul was right there for the Death Coil. Beautiful positioning. Warden now blocking herself into another position, now able to get into that backside. There's a Death Coil onto the Acolyte again. Staff of Teleportation now necessary, as I believe that's a Staff of Teleportation. Yeah, Staff of Teleportation necessary to head back out right there. Still has the Scroll of Town Portal. Drops the Circuit of Nobility, picks it back up, and now going to add a Mantle of Intelligence as well. Warden already up to 405 mana at level 3. Must have picked up some Tomes of Intelligence as well, and that seems abnormally high for a Warden that just has, well, that just had plus stats, now down to 360 as it picks up Boots of Speed and sells that Crystal Ball and also that Mantle of Intelligence. Down to the south side here, Death Knight looking to clear things out, does have Dust of Appearance, Rod of Necromancy, gonna quickly spot that this is an Ogre creep camp here down to the south, as the Ancient of War, well, still training up more units as we go into dual Ancients of War, more for tanks than anything else. We are looking at a large number of archers in this army so far. There goes some more repairs here. The Ancient of War taking quite a bit of damage, now down to 150 hit points, but double wisps once more repairing. Death Knight also coming across here, looking to perhaps clean up these Ancients of Lore before they get fully operational with that fortified armor. We may be forced to see a cancellation here. There's a Shadow Strike. Are we going to see a cancellation? Yes, there is that cancellation right there as the Death Knight now using that Staff of Teleportation to try and do a bit of harassment as well. All right, Ancient of War off to the north side here should be, well, eating up some trees, trying to repair some hit points again. Warden sitting at level 3 does have a Wand of Mana Stealing, could or will be stealing some mana from that Death Knight or a Lich, as we are now we are at tier 2 and not yet going to tier 3. Ancient of War perhaps going to be getting that level 7 armor from Nature's Blessing before moving on up and trying to go after this creep camp here. There's that level 7 armor as well. And here we are going into that engagement now. Shadow Strike onto the Ogre Lord. We're going to perhaps get some repairs onto that Ancient of War. Need to make sure that the Ogre Lord doesn't do a shockwave. Back across on the other side, Death Knight going to go ahead and Death Coil. And this is not your typical Undead versus Night Elf match. Normally, both Undead and Night Elf are engaging against each other rather early. We may actually be looking at expansions coming in here, as Turtle Rock is a map that is rather large with a lot of creeping available. Now, level 4 Warden gonna get to level 5 perhaps fairly fast. I don't see a second hero coming in from LawLiet. And on a map that has so many creeps, the Death Knight getting the Lich, and now perhaps going to nope, yeah, already at tier 3, should be getting up a Dark Ranger or Naga Sea Witch as that third and final hero. We'll have to keep track of that as well. I don't think Panda is going to be a very, very strong choice, as we are already looking at Ancients of Lore training up some Dryads. All right, Warden has some plans of her own. She wants to, well, land some Shadow Strikes, get some damage, take down some Acolytes. Black Citadel is already operational and finished, as I mentioned earlier. One Acolyte going to get finished off here. That tick damage over time is just so much. Even though that, well, it doesn't look like there is Blight there. There is, in fact, Blight, as both sides are still fighting their way through. Low hit point Ghoul. Is it going to end up getting taken down to 12 hit points? It may, nope, it may get saved. Death Knight shows up just in time for the save. Obsidian Statue, they're also providing a bit of heals as well. Warden teleporting out of that sticky situation doesn't drop the Circuit of Nobility this time, just drinking up and replenishing those hit points and then moving on out. Down to the south side here, Ancient of War continuing to tank some damage. Gargantuan Sea Turtle already down to 700 hit points. That will drop fairly fast, as the Gargantuan Sea Turtle taking some slow poison damage from those Dryads. Warden sitting at level 4 has a Scroll of the Beast. That is not the item that she was looking for. Not going to be very helpful for the Dryads, as we're looking at the Undead army now already rushing inside the base and inside the main base here. Ancient of War trying to fight back. Death Knight Wisp maybe trying to come back over and repair. Warden going to come in from behind, perhaps get a little bit of damage, but doesn't have the Orb of Venom to be able to engage against the destroyers that are now in the air. Both sides are still fighting. Warden now going to try and fight back. Dryads have to be a little bit worried, as well as there are some Cryptines here. Warden trying to fight next to all of these Moonwells. May need a potion of healing as well to try and engage, as the army is separated, but a little bit of a pincer play here, as the Warden could perhaps land a Shadow Strike and perhaps cause a little bit of slowness there. Meanwhile, it looks as though a single Ghoul trying to take down a Tree of Life here. More Ghouls and destroyers off to the north, and there is just fights happening all over the map here, as the Ancients of War now making their way off to the north. Tree of Life getting canceled there off to the north. Wow, so much going on, trying to keep track of the mini map, as well as we are getting a Necropolis, and there's that Staff of Teleportation coming inbound to try and shut down this expansion by Happy. This expansion is already operational for a little bit, but it has not returned its initial investment yet. Warden now sitting at level 5, going after these targets pretty easily. There goes an Archer there, as we are going to be looking at level 3 Shadow Strike onto the Death Knight. Level 3 Shadow Strike onto a level 3 Death Knight, and that damage will rack up pretty quickly. Meanwhile, we're looking at the Warden perhaps trying to rack up more damage. There is another Shadow Strike again, but still needs an Orb of Venom for a way to really deal with that Destroyer, or perhaps add up a little bit more damage again. More Death Coils, more Blinks, as the Warden going to look to engage. Warden does have level 2 Blink going now after those Ghouls. Ghoul is now trying to retreat back. Is it going to get taken down? Yes, one Ghoul finally taking out. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability there. There's another Death Coil. Beautiful micro coming in from the Death Knight. Death Knight seems to have mana for days with the help of those Obsidian statues. There goes another Shadow Strike there as the Death Knight could be in trouble, down to 165 hit points. Is it going to be able to blink? Yes, blink away. Perfect timing on LawLiet to try and get right at the position to stop that Death Knight from being able to squeak on through. One Dryad, one Ancient of War going to be forced to retreat back. Death Knight and will be forced to be resurrected. It looks like it may be hired up at the tavern, as there is a bit of a gold advantage by Happy. All right. Warden now already up to 5.5. We are at Tree of Eternity. This is a solo Warden style play. So the Warden is getting a large amount of experience right now. I believe a 30% experience since it is a solo hero. And I believe LawLiet is just going to continue to try and put down pressure at this point and stage in the game. Warden comes in. There's a blink. There's a Shadow Strike onto a Ghoul. Ghoul is going to easily get taken down there. Warden needs to create a little bit of separation and distance. Dryads want to back away as well, as we see an Abomination joining in on the battle. There goes a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend getting taken down is a big deal, but well, the Lich with that Orb of Corruption able to snipe down a low hit point Dryad. All right, Dryads actually getting shot down by giant sea turtles off to the side there. There goes a Frost Nova down onto the Warden. Warden down to 52 hit points, down to 21, and running for her life, and looks like she will be able to escape. Ancient of War still suffering a bit of damage here, trying to buy a bit of time, and will do exactly that. No expansion off to the north. Expansion now being established here at the center gold mine, and there is going to be a lot of action in just a moment. Excuse me. Dark Ranger as that third hero. Black arrows most likely will lead to dark rituals to try and get more mana onto that Lich. Meanwhile, Death Knight will get to level 4 here, does have a Ring of Regeneration coupled with that Unholy Aura, and an Obsidian Statue shouldn't have problems trying to maintain all of those hit points, as we see a Robe of Magi given to the Death Knight transferred to the Lich, who now has plus 16 attack between, well, those 3 items. Back down to the center portion of the map here, Warden, just a sliver of experience more needed to get to level 6. And, well, once level 6 is on the table, it will be a battle to see who can use those corpses more. There's level 6 already. Warden getting level 6 rather quickly, and now perhaps has the Avatar of Vengeance. Is the Warden going to be able to win a solo game by herself? That is the question. Level 6 Warden can cause a number of problems. Getting level 3 Blink can also be very problematic for the undead, as it is so difficult to just try and take her down. There's a Shadow Strike onto an Acolyte. Acolyte getting denied right there. There is a Shadow Meld. Warden, however, Dust of Appearance, going to try and continue to fight. There is another Shadow Strike, as that Warden now going to teleport away down to 340 hit points. Going to drop that Circlet of Nobility, heal up, and pick it back up once again. All right. Avatar of Vengeance pretty much acts as a solo hero, as that Avatar of Vengeance so difficult to deal with. You have some corpses, and suddenly you have an army that is completely invulnerable, unable to take any damage, that is just poking apart every which way. Ghoul is trying to go after that Wisp there, down to 31 hit points. I believe it will get taken down with no real problem. All right, there's an engagement. There's a Shadow Strike as well. Warden going to try and fight the Wisp. We're going to jump inside that gold mine just in time, as the Avatar of Vengeance is right there. There goes a Frost Nova onto the Archer. There's a Bear as well. Both sides trying to fight. Orb of Venom is on that Warden finally after all this time, as damage could be racking up. All right, trying to get those Spirit of Vengeances up. Any time you take down an Archer, it actually gets replaced by a Spirit of Vengeance temporarily, and that they are invulnerable, and well, meaning they can't take any damage. One Dryad off to the north should be trying to fight back here. Bear's going to try and engage. No Staff of Preservation that I see. That Bear is going to have a very, very bad fight, or a bad day indeed, as it gets cleaned up. Level up onto the Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger finally going to go for black arrows there. Both sides are fighting every which way through, as the Spirit of Vengeance is going after the Obsidian Statue in the back. Obsidian Statue finally breaking free, breaking back, as the Warden needs to blink away and hide for a moment from the battle. Spirit of Vengeance still poking apart those obsidian statues. Obsidian statues taking quite a bit of damage, and removing them from the fight is actually a key strategy, as we are going to be looking at an engagement here. Spirit of Vengeance is trying to chase, but they're not going to be lasting very long, as suddenly the Night Elf army going to be coming back to try and protect. Meanwhile, off to the north, another entanglement of that gold mine here, as the obsidian statues, two of them, well, how come? Oh, the Nerubian towers can't fight there. All right, there's the repairs onto those obsidian statues, trying to go after them. Gonna go after those acolytes instead, as the repairs are still underway. Meanwhile, all right, Death Knight gonna go ahead and Scroll of Town Portal retreat back out. Death Knight able to retreat here, as we see the Spirit of Vengeances unable to finish off the obsidian statues before their time life is done. 60 supply compared to 72. Gold mines now, well, training back up. Our Avatar of Vengeance, 850 hit points here, and I believe Happy should be able to slowly level up these heroes. Once we have a level 5 Death Knight, level 3 Dark Ranger, and a level 4 Lich, well, things are going to be dramatically different going up against this, well, solo Warden. There's a Shadow Strike. Death Knight could have a very bad day. Scroll of Town Portal, it still can be used there. There's a Death Coil, Frost Nova onto the Warden. Warden has a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Tried to blink away. It looked like it was about to blink, and the animation went through, but then there was silence on the Warden, so it actually caught it mid blink. Did I see that right? Right. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please rewind. Let me know if you actually saw the animation for the blink, and then it got pulled back. That was weird. All right, Ogre Lord continuing to fight back here. Thank you, SJ fan. As we're looking at the Death Knight sitting at level 4, Lich is already at 3, and the Dark Ranger will be staying at level 2. Simply too many heroes for all of that experience to go around. All right, we are looking at LawLiet having the expansion, or LawLiet, yeah. Is it LawLiet? I keep on forgetting LawLiet. Um, Off to the north here, running off of an additional base. There is still one red creep camp off to the north available, as the Warden is running around the map. It doesn't have a Scroll of Town Portal, which is incredibly important to notice, as it does now, well, get a bit of rejuvenation and about to engage against this undead army. Undead army trying to slip on by. There's an Abolish Magic there. Are we going to get some damage onto some of those units? There's a Shadow Strike onto the Abomination. Bears now trying to dive on in. No Staff of Preservation still, as that Druid of the Claw going to easily get taken down. And that's just going to continue to feed the experience of the undead army. There's a Death Coil there. Abomination looks like it's going to get taken down. Bear still trying to fight. There goes another Bear as well, as we see a level up onto that Dark Ranger. Druid of the Claw trying to retreat back here. Dry's trying to fight back the other way. Lich gets up to level 4. Level 4, level 4, level 3, going up against a level 6, nearly level 7, or no, halfway to level 7 Dark Warden, as though Avatar of Vengeance is still just trying to create Spirit of Vengeances and fight back against all of these units. Dryad's not going up against the Destroyers, as we see, well, a lot of damage could be added up against all of these Obsidian statues as well. Spirit of Vengeance is going after those targets. No slow poison on them, since they are mechanical units, but they are seemingly being able to retreat back. All right, more damage still racking back up. Death Knight sitting at level 4, wanting to get to level 5. Warden does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability used in time to dodge and shake off that Death Coil. Warden doesn't have enough mana for a Shadow Strike, or the cooldown on a Shadow Strike just quite yet, as the Warden backs away. Spirit of Vengeance is going after these Obsidian statues now, continuing to poke apart. One Spirit of Vengeance would end up giving level 7 to the Warden, which opens up, well, level 3 Blink, which then in turn opens up a much more mana efficient play for that Warden. We're looking at 1-1 upgrades going up against no upgrades for the undead so far. 70 supply compared to 63, as, well, this game is still rolling on through. Druids of the Claw getting in some rejuvenation here. Needs to get a rejuvenation onto that Dryad as well. Warden moving off to the north, using up a Clarity Potion. And where is it going to try and move off to next? All right, there's an engagement in the, well, outside the natural expansion. Shadow Strike onto the Death Knight. Death Knight really wants to get to level 5 somehow. Taking down a Wisp, taking down a Dryad would definitely do it, opening up that 600 hit point heal. Warden still doing a little bit of a dance back and forth. LawLiet sitting at 72 over 90 supply. For some reason, not getting up into a full over 80. Doing a tome of retraining. Going to be going into Fan of Knives instead. And with Fan of Knives, perhaps going to be able to, well, rack up damage across multiple units, making it difficult for the Death Knight to really burst heal any one particular target. All right. Warden needs to find the right positioning here, positioning to get off a good Fan of Knives as the Moonwell about to get taken down. All right. Easy Moonwell destruction. Once more, Fan of Knives. Where is that Warden? Warden going to be coming back around from the other side. Does have Dust Appearance. And where is it going to try and go next after all of these targets? Perhaps taking down an Obsidian statue or two with Fan of Knives would work. All right. There's a Blink. There's a Fan of Knives racking up damage across multiple units. Dryad, Slow Poison, Orb of Venom. Orb of Venom damage over time as well, as that damage is starting to rack up a bit more. Being forced to retreat back. Warden needs some more survivability items. Only 975 hit points. We're going to see the Death Coil and Frost Nova start to overcome the Warden's high mobility as Hippogriffs are now joining in on the battle. There goes another Druid of the Cloud. There's level 5 now on the Death Knight. And, well, things are starting to roll towards Happy's direction. All right, more damage racking back up. There goes a Druid of the Claw in Druid form getting burst down. And once we see level 5 on that Lich, which is the next milestone for Happy, that damage are just going to be able to eat through that low hit point, high agility Warden. Both sides still fighting their way through here. Dark Ranger trying to come back over the top. Warden still without an Orb of Venom without a Staff of Preservation has been unable to save any bears. And Happy has got to love the position that he is in. These Spirit of Vengeances, yes, are problematic, but we are looking at 3 base play, or now 2 base play to 2 base play, as the main bases are mined out. Still plenty of gold there. This gold mine has about 10 minutes of mining left. This gold mine has about 13. All right. Coming back around, Dryad's 1-1 upgrades. We're starting to see some upgrades from Happy as well. 79 supply over 100. Spirit of Vengeance is trying to slowly poke away. There's a Fan of Knives trying to eat through here. Orb of Venom, racking up damage against those destroyers, but really needs to go after some of those other targets. That Death Coil a split second late. Once more, another Fan of Knives ripping through, taking down, and all of these Crypt Fiends. That is a very big deal. Crypt Fiend after Crypt Fiend is slowly falling, and without those Crypt Fiends, suddenly the Dryads become a much more potent target. Warden wanting to finish off there, unable to get a blink, being forced to blink off to the north as the Fan of Knives was still on cooldown. Spirit of Vengeance is still going after all those targets. It looks as though the Obsidian statue could end up getting taken down. They all suddenly switched aggro onto those targets, as well as we're looking at those Obsidian statues just absorbing damage more and more damage, trying to retreat back out. All right. Damage trying to retreat back out. Happy also with a endurance aura, now able to move faster with that unholy aura on that Death Knight. Another expansion being taken by Happy in the center portion of the map. We are looking at perhaps a third base here. Tree of Eternity has uprooted itself and moved on over. So it is going to be going back into 3 bases once more. Spirit of Vengeance is trying to fight back against the Destroyers here. 68 supply compared to 80. Happy still with a sizable lead. There's another Fan of Knives coming back across as the Warden is trying to shake off as much damage as it can. We are now looking at Mountain Giants absorbing a bit, or being able to taunt. Thank you for the follow, as the Warden now trying to retreat back. Abominations, there's another Blink, there's another Fan of Knives followed by a Silence. Warden trying to retreat back out. Again, more damage from those Dryads, but the Obsidian statues are really the glue that's still holding everything together. Not enough units are falling, and thereby making the Avatar of Vengeance unable to get to that critical mass of all of those Spirit of Vengeances. Tree of Life taking quite a beating, but still keeps on ticking as the Warden blinks on in. There's another Fan of Knives. Warden now low on mana. Druids of the Cloud could end up getting taken down, as we see, I believe that was some mana flare there to try and take down some of those Obsidian statues. Obsidian statue could get taken down. Level 5 now on that Lich, trying to go after the Lich. Lich forcing the Warden to blink back. Now that Lich is at level 5 with level 3 Frost Nova, able to rack up more damage. And while a dual level 5 undead heroes with the Dark Ranger not too far behind. All right, Dryads being forced to retreat back. Avatar of Vengeance trying to summon up more Spirit of Vengeances, continuing to poke apart at some of those obsidian statues. Obsidian statue down to 69.55 hit points, now being forced to retreat back and, well, get repaired again. Warden needs to come back, re-engage here, but really Happy is starting to grow more and more with his heroes and keeping that Warden at bay. Only 1,000 hit points on that high agility hero. Agility based heroes good in combat, but bad at absorbing damage from the Death Knight and all the other units here. Warden trying to finish things off. Scroll of Town Portal as the Dark Ranger is able to retreat back. All right. Happy has the gold mine here. This gold mine off to the north only has about 7 minutes left. This gold mine getting another ziggurat to try and act as a bit of protection. We may actually see multiple level 6 heroes in this fight as no one truly has the advantage. Well, I gotta say, Happy seems to have the advantage with the eyeball test. As the game goes long, having 3 level 5 heroes is better than having 1 level 7 hero or even 1 level 9 hero, as that Warden is not going to be able to stick around with such a long duration silence and Deathclaw and Frost Novas, well, bursting out so much damage. Level 6 on the Death Knight now, going for level 3 Unholy Aura makes a lot of sense. No reason to get Animate dead when you know your opponent has Avatar of Vengeance and is sucking up all of those corpses. All right, more fighting getting underway. Avatar of Vengeance. Oh, it's going to disappear here in just a moment. And now with that, the Avatar of Vengeance needs to be resummoned, and all of the corpses were already used up by the previous Avatar of Vengeance. All right, corpses acting as a bit of a resource that the Night Elf needs now, surprisingly, to be able to execute the game plan. Well, Mountain Giant going to get taken down. 66 supply compared to 83. Happy is just continually, well, in control of this game as the Dark Ranger now going to get to level 5 here in just a moment. Thought the Fairy Dragon could do it. Nope. Instead, level 8 on that Warden, and now level 5 on that Dark Ranger. Lich is going to be in trouble. Down to nearly dead, but able to be saved. Scroll of Town Portal being transferred and over there. 65 supply compared to 80. Spirit of Vengeances once more running on out here. Gold mine off to the north. 5 minutes of mining left. This gold mine still has plenty of mining going on. Still also has this, well, red creep camp off to the north. That Forest Troll Warlord creep camp could give some useful items, as well as the Spirit of Vengeance is going after those obsidian statues, trying to poke them down. And this expansion, well, is the expansion that takes a licking but keeps on ticking, but may finally end up falling. Level 6 Dark Ranger would be a win if she can get the Avatar. I don't think... Can you charm the Avatar of Vengeance? All right, continuing to fight back the other way. Warden trying to retreat back. There's the blink back the other side. I don't think I've ever seen a game where you have a level 6 Dark Ranger, and stealing Mountain Giants might actually be the better call overall. Being able to grab all that. All right, not quite sure what happened to my overlay. Just kind of disappeared as the, well, Avatar Vengeance trying to fight back here. Warden continuing to blink away, trying to lead that charge. Mountain Giant's going to try and engage. Destroyers coming back over the top, and still looking to, well, finish off any bears if they do try and show up. Multiple obsidian statues are out here onto the battlefield. Wet is going down. There goes a couple more webs. Mountain Giants trying to absorb more damage in that frontline position. Another blink back. Warden down to 400 hit points. Needs a way to stay alive, or at least start shutting down some of these other heroes, as the Dark Ranger is at level 5, still going after Mountain Giant after Mountain Giant. All right, Abomination looks like it's going to get taken down. Yes, it does get taken down. And, well, that Warden down to 177 hit points, trying to back away. Dark Ranger still going after some more Mountain Giants here. Abominations with Disease Cloud should be racking up more damage against the Dryads, as the Dryads are relatively low hit point units that take damage, well, over time from those Abominations. And Disease Cloud very, well, it's very nasty. Coming back around here, Avatar of Vengeance down to 69 hit points. The time life is nearly done. Mountain Giant gets taken down as well. Death Knight still seeing that level 6. Warden trying to find a way to burst down some of these enemy heroes, and we're going to see the Destroyers now retreat back. Lich sitting at level 5, nearly level 6, as well as the expansion is still up and running after all this time. All right, not quite sure what happened to my overlay. Let me pause this for a second. See if I can. Is it? All right. Unexpected stop. All right. There we go. Coming back on through 67 supply compared to 87 supply. Happy has been in high upkeep for quite some time. Also has haunted gold mines all over the place. Can transfer acolytes when necessary. As the warden sits at level 8, still suffering from disease cloud, needs some rejuvenation as well, and needs to find a way to, well, just stick around in this battle and be able to burst down these enemies' heroes. All right, Avatar Vengeance looking to charge on in once more. Level 8 on that Warden. Gonna go ahead and dive on in. There's a Fan of Knives. Level 6 now on that Lich. Level 6 Death and Decay is a nasty, nasty ability since it is a percentage-based destruction towards building. Bears are going to get taken down as well. Dark Ranger getting halfway to level 6 already. Potion of Invulnerability on the Warden, trying to fight back, trying to linger around in this battle, but this battle is just not working out well for that Warden, as that's only a 7-second invulnerability. 67 supply compared to 85. Destroyers, Obsidian Statues, Dryads trying to finish off the Destroyers here. Hippogriffs now trying to make their way over. Plenty of Crypt Fiends out here onto the battlefield as the Destroyers are now looking to retreat back. 2-0 upgrades going into 2-2. Warden dives on in. There's a Fan of Knives trying to finish off a couple of those Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiend now going to unburrow right there. It gets taken out as well, though, as the Warden's sitting at 8.5, getting closer to 9. But the big power spike is going to be coming from, well, wow, big Fan of Knives right there, trying to finish off acolytes every which way they can. That economic advantage of Happy being able to replenish his army so quickly, really taking a toll there as the Warden is blinking around the map. Meanwhile, the Dark Ranger getting so close to level 6 is going to change the strategies dramatically, as those mountain giants and bears are not going to be useful at all, as they are just going to be charmed by the Dark Ranger so easily. Expansion finally taken down after all this time here, so it is now 2 bases to, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, even though this one may not. Nope, that one is now fully saturated as well. All right, so 20 workers coming in from Happy. I've never seen Happy with that many acolytes on the field in any game. 4 base undead, absolutely a scary thought, as the undead now looks over here and sees that there is a tree of eternity. Doesn't even bother trying to attack it, knowing that he still has the economic advantage. 84 supply compared to 70 over 90. Fan of Knives coming back across, trying to rack up more damage against all these units. Mountain Giants coming across here. Dark Ranger still sitting at level 5, getting closer to level 6. Death Knight says, you know what, I do not need to stick around in this battle, as the units are now looking to retreat back away. Level 8 on that Warden, nearly level 9. Shadow Strike starting to become a real popularity, as we are looking at, oh, this could be a big change here. Level 9 now on the Warden, but just as important, the Avatar of Vengeance having access to 5 corpses already. And with 5 corpses out onto the battlefield, that could be the momentum that LawLiet needs to come back over the top. These Spirit of Vengeances looking to rack up a bit of damage. Avatar of Vengeance, that was a fresh Avatar of Vengeance. Their new Hippogriffs going to be coming back around. Destroyers, there's plenty of Crypt Fiends on the ground as well, as the Spirit of Vengeance is going straight after the Obsidian Statues now. All right, one Obsidian Statue already trying to break free. Another Obsidian Statue could get poked down. Both sides could be fighting their way back through. Where is that Warden? Warden coming back in from the south side here, as the Spirit of Vengeance is racking up damage. There's a little bit of taunting as well. Spirit of Vengeance trying to get a surround onto that Lich. Lich could end up getting taken out. Big Frost Nova across all of those Hippogriffs there, as the Hippogriffs should be going after those Destroyers. All right, Shadow Strike going down, trying to slow things off. There's some more Frost Armor. Lich is going to be able to get enough burst damage. No, unable, or Warden unable to do that. Still fighting their way through, as the Warden trying to retreat back. All right, 600 hit point heal onto the Lich, saving that Lich right there, as both sides still fighting again. Warden now heading back off to the north. 76 supply over 90. Level 9 on that Warden, getting very close to level 10, as we're looking at the, well, Mountain Giants starting to take a bit of damage. There's a Death Coil. It's going to end up getting taken down, as that Dark Ranger inches closer to a very ominous level 6. multiple level 6 heroes out here on the battlefield still, as the Death Knight going up against the Warden. Warden trying to blink back here. The synergy of the strong Death Knight being protected by the Frost Armor. Meanwhile, level 7 on the Death Knight there. Dark Ranger does not level up. Warden sitting at level 9 here, still trying to fight every which way through. Is going to be able to blink, get in some big damage across all of those Obsidian statues, being forced to blink back around. Dryad still trying to poke apart every which way, as we could be looking at the death of a Mountain Giant, and the Dark Ranger now at 6. All right, Dark Ranger needs to get a bit more mana, turning off black arrows. And once the Obsidian statues do their thing, well, you better believe that the Dark Ranger is going to start to charm across many of those other units. All right, Eunice trying to retreat back here. Abomination could end up getting taken down. Another big heal right there. Warden trying to get off a big fan of knives. And we see the Warden blink back away again, trying to finish off some of those units before they teleport away. No, unable to do that, as we're now looking at the Warden going after some of those destroyers. Dryads, are they going to be able to catch up to at least one, if not two, of these units, as that Orb of Venom does have some damage over time. There goes one more unit there. There's another blink. There's a fan of knives trying to finish things off, as the Dark Ranger comes back over the top and does have possession in a store lined up. Or charm, sorry, not possession, charm. All right, are we going to see a charm here? Yes, there's a charm. Dryad now turning back the other way. 88 supply compared to 53. Burrowed Cryptfiend gets a web off, as well. Charm only a 45-second cooldown, and with Obsidian statues, I guess that's all an undead player really needs if they have the advantage. Death Coil, Frost Nova straight up onto the Warden. Warden trying to blink back around. I believe time is up. Warden trying to hide away here, but things are just not looking good. 20 more seconds until another charm comes down, as the Warden unable to figure out how to engage here. It never really felt like LawLiet had much of an opportunity, even though it got to level 6 on that Warden so quickly. It was just going to be a matter of time, and there is the GG. LawLiet has left the game happy with a dominating win. Look at how much gold was mined. LawLiet mined more gold until you actually look at the upkeep. Happy losing 17,000 gold compared to 9,000 gold from LawLiet, and that's pretty much like a starting gold mine almost right there. Beautiful, beautiful game going back and forth, but ultimately, LawLiet not bringing in a staff of preservation, losing a lot of bears, and letting Happy snowball all of his heroes from level 3 to level 4 to level 5. And once we saw that level 5 Death Knight, we really saw, the overall tempo of those battles change. That 600 hit point heal over that 400 hit point heal, making a big difference and being able to outlast his opponent. Once the Lich also got to level 5, that Death Coil Frost Nova combination really neutralized any Druid of the Claw that came out onto the battlefield. And once charm from that Dark Ranger was completed, that was just the final nail in the coffin to get it done. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.